I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
We are the future, Charles, not them.
I'm kidding.
We're the X-Men, dated metaphor for racism in the 60s.
What's a Magneto? A very powerful mutant.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Enter the X-Verse. This week we are looking at 2015's Fant4stic. I am Nathan, I am one of your hosts here on Enter the X-Verse, and I am joined by my favourite guy in the world, your Canadian patriot.
Nathan, you're bringing far too much energy to this episode. I am Kyle. I'm a man. I'm a normal human man. Just like everyone in this movie is a normal human man.
Kyle, you have a creative you have a creative outlet in this planet. I thus at time of recording do not. So this is it for me. This is where I need to get all my energy out.
Gotcha. Okay.
The minute we hit the stop recording button, I climb back onto my Xbox to play Assassin's Creed Origins.
It's true. It's weird because we have the camera on and your face just sort of disappears. All of the energy drains out of it.
You wonder where the personality is that's behind the microphone. Yeah, listen, radio voices are presenter voices. It's a parasocial relationship. The person you're listening to isn't the person you hear in the real world if you were to ever meet me.
No, it's true. It's true. Anyway, we're doing Fant4stic, or Fantastic Four. Nathan, I need a value judgment right now. What should I call this episode?
So me and you were discussing it in Messengers. I would call it F-A-N, number 4, stick. I didn't know there's a T after that N, but before the number 4.
Yeah, it's replacing the letter A. So it's Fant4stic.
Yes. But I never pronounce the T. I don't call it Fant4stic. I call it Fan, F-A-N, 4, stick. You know? I understand it's supposed to replace the A.
The movie is officially called Fantastic Four.
The movie is officially called Fantastic Four. Get away from the logo, you know?
Yeah, but does anyone call it that, though?
No, because if you call it Fantastic Four, everyone thinks you're talking about the movie that was actually alright from 2005.
Oh man, that movie, I'm so nostalgic for that movie now. My goodness.
Yeah, right?
What a masterpiece compared to this piece of shit.
Right? God, this movie's awful.
This might be the worst movie we've done so far. I know I say that quite often, but I think we've really hit it this time. I cannot think of anything we've done that's worse.
Do you think this movie is worse than Elektra and Daredevil?
Yes, absolutely I do. Because at least those movies, I was like, oh, Michael Clarke Duncan, he's pretty good in that movie. This movie has nothing. There's nothing to grab onto.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
Elektra that had that guy whose tattoos turned into animals. That was something.
Yeah, no, you're right. You know what? You in this small exchange, you have officially convinced me. This is the worst film we have watched.
Yeah, no.
I thought we had watched all the worst movies we could watch.
That's because you were forgetting this movie exists.
Yeah, last week when we finished Days of Future Past, I thought we were rolling on to X-Men Apocalypse. This is a real speed bump. This is like when you're getting ready to leave the family party and that one family member you don't really like wants to come over and have a 10-minute goodbye with you.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I really need to go, actually. He's like, no, come eat these other... No,
no. We should meet up again like this sometime. Oh yeah, sure, Uncle Dev. Yeah, sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, right? And you're ready to leave and they won't let you. That's what this film is, and I think that's what this film is. Like, for this movie, that's Fox. They're like, we don't want you to leave. We don't want you to go back to Disney.
It's so... Yeah, okay, so famously, a lot of these Fantastic Four movies get made so they can keep the rights to the films, because there's a rule with this sort of thing where if you don't make a film for a certain amount of time, you lose the rights and it goes back to the original rights holder.
Yep, that's right.
So... That's why this movie was put into production, because Fox understands that the Fantastic Four are a valuable brand, or they were a valuable brand at least. This movie has done some pretty serious damage to their reputation, I would say.
Yeah.
But yes, they were one of the most popular Marvel heroes. That's why they bought them in the first place. So they understand that. They just don't know how to make a good movie with them.
I genuinely think that the previous incarnation of this was a sincere and honest attempt.
Yeah, okay, it was okay. This is
certainly sincere enough to get a second swing at it. This is what they thought was going to, like, be their team for the next number of years.
Yeah.
Because I even feel like it's kind of evocative of, like, a bad X-Men movie.
Oh yeah, with, like, the black costumes and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, right? Even just
they're trying to take it in, like, a dark, serious direction.
Yeah, even like how it's colour graded and everything, like, it just feels like it was shot for a Fox X-Men movie, except X-Men don't show up in it.
Even at this point, though, like, Days of Future Past is way more colourful and interesting than this movie. There are shots in this movie that look like an episode of, like, I don't know, like CSI Miami or something, where it's just plain blank shots of buildings. What are we doing?
That's got to be a lot of the reshoots, surely.
I mean, maybe. It's always been a joke about this movie, but the reshoots are so obvious.
Yeah. I tell you what, I don't think they're as bad as, in terms of, so we talk about the wig, right?
Oh, they're not Justice League level, if that's what you're going to say, right?
No,
there's no Henry Cavill mustache.
No, but so I was going to say, everyone speaks about Sue Storm's wig in this, right?
Yes.
Hot take, Kel. I don't think it's as bad as everyone hypes it up as being. Can I tell? Kind of sure. I think the worst wig I have seen in any film ever is Ewan McGregor's Phantom Menace reshoot wig.
Right, okay.
I think that wig is genuinely awful. Like, it looks like a fair wig. It's just that's not what his hair even remotely looks like.
I'm going to disagree with you slightly because Sue Storm's colour hair changes. And I find that extremely distracting. Like, she has natural blonde hair and then suddenly she has very obvious wig blonde hair.
Honestly, I think maybe I was so checked out of this movie that didn't really faze me.
Okay, primary problem with this movie is it's so boring. It's insanely boring. It's hard to pay attention to with how boring it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm having a really tough time at the multiplex right now because I've just seen Borderlands, the movie.
Uh-huh.
And then I've now seen this.
I think Borderlands might be better than this.
2 back-to-back boring films. It's just atrocious. I tell you what I've seen twice, though, to make up for it. Alien Romulus. What a wonderful film. I quite enjoyed Alien Romulus quite a bit. I don't think it reinvents the wheel. I think it's a fairly safe film, but I would rather talk about that than this. I've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've 9 notes in this film. And it's all just nothing. It sums up my feelings of this. Kyle wrote a novella of notes, and I usually do that.
There is a lot of problems with this movie.
There is.
Just like, okay, so we start with little baby Reed Richards, right?
Yep.
And he's in a classroom. And the titles say that it's 2007, but Nathan, I don't think this was shot to be 2007, do you? It looks more like the 90s, at least.
Yeah, I'd say the 80s or something, but yeah, you're not wrong.
Like, no, none of these kids have a BlackBerry, Nathan.
No.
But anyway, so he does his little speech about how he wants to be a teleporter and he has the worst teacher in the world who says no. And then we cut to 7 years later and these two children have turned into 28-year-old men.
Yep.
Still in high school.
Yeah,
and
it's noticeable, isn't it?
It's extremely noticeable. Ben Grimm looks like a man. He looks like an adult man.
They should have had them be at some sort of university, right?
Yes. Like, okay, trying to think rationally about why this happened is they thought this high school science, like, affair thing was a super important scene, so that's why they decided this. But for the rest of the movie, it makes more sense if you just pretend that these are adults and not teenagers. Because it doesn't make any sense that they're teenagers.
What is Franklin Storm and Sue Storm doing at a high school science fair?
It doesn't make any sense, no. I mean, I guess it's because they know that Reed Richards is there and he's invented this teleporter.
Do they?
Yeah, because reasons.
Because they find him, sure, and they're like very interested in what he's made. But is that why they went?
Yeah, that's why they went. They went specifically for him, I'm pretty sure. Because they went to give him a scholarship or whatever to their very boring-looking university.
They gave him a scholarship, but that was after, like, they saw his teleporter in action. He brought back the sand from another dimension and was like, oh...
Yeah, but Sue had a little sample of that sand, like, hey, we found the same thing.
Yeah, I know, but... It feels like they're going around science fairs looking for someone, a kid, a child making this same technology that they've made that's more perfected. They've just happened, to me the film presents like they've just happened upon Reed Richards. Is there a specific line I missed where they're like, no, we came specifically to look for you, Reed Richards?
I don't remember, I'll be honest.
See, I don't think there is. I just think it's the best luck in the world they ran into him. Furthermore, right?
Uh-huh.
So they're like, oh, you have dampener things on your teleporter which enables you to return matter from the other side of the portal. Mm-hmm. You return matter from the other side of the portal. You got sand!
That's so great. You know what I love about this whole thing too is Reed is like, oh, I'm pretty sure we're just teleporting it to the Sahara or whatever. I'm not gonna like bother thinking about it too hard. I've made a teleporter and I don't care where it goes. Why
does he think that he's brought sand from like somewhere in China? What?
I don't know.
Is that in his mind? If you were to like, drill through the earth, is that the exact point beneath which he stands? Like if he drills through, does he come out in China?
I don't know. He's built a teleporter with no specific intention. He's built a teleporter just to teleport it somewhere.
I mean, I understand the desire to want to build a teleporter. Its practical applications are
Nathan,
amazing.
If you want a teleporter, surely you would be like, okay, I'm going to build a two-way teleporter where here's one side, here's the other side, right? That's how you would conceptualize a teleporter. A
transmitter and a receiver of sorts.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like a transporter in Star Trek. Beam me up, Scotty.
I was going to say in Star Trek, they don't really have receivers.
Yeah, but the point of a teleporter is to send you somewhere, not just to like teleport for no reason.
It's to Hail Mary you to some parallel dimension. They think it's like a dimension teleporter.
Yeah, okay. Okay. We're going to focus on this teleporter because it's the entire plot of the movie, and the movie expects you to care about it, even though it's boring.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredibly boring.
Like, okay, they've invented this teleporter which coincidentally sends them to this planet, and they're like, oh, this planet is amazing, it could save the human race, or whatever. But they've got footage from this planet, and it looks like a horrible hellscape. It's like, why do you want to go here?
So, I've heard others talk about what the original plan for this movie was, right? And it was, this film was heavily done in reshoots, and everything's kind of changed, and it's all stapled together, and Dr. Doom wasn't supposed to be in the movie, and they were supposed to be held for Galactus, and Galactus was supposed to be eating the planet when they arrive in the other place. I don't know why they changed it.
Yeah,
this is nothing. Is this some sort of
maybe they thought it was too
planet?
complicated or something? I have no idea. Maybe they couldn't afford Galactus. Maybe this is in this age where they're like, oh, Galactus is too silly for our serious, deep, dark movie,
Shut up. Wrong.
No, but we can have Mannequin Head, Dr. Doom explode people's minds. That's fine.
Precisely. What's his powers? Telekinesis? Radiation?
His powers are fuck you, whatever.
Yeah, his powers are just like radiation, I think.
I think he just has the Force.
Yeah, it's like the suit man that's in the big blue suit that speaks to him. He looks like he's like getting red and bubbling up and pussing up when he dies.
Yeah, he sort of explodes his mind from the inside.
It's radioactive powers, I think.
Okay, but it doesn't work on the Fantastic Four because reasons.
Because they're also radioactive creeps.
Yeah, anyway, we get Planet Zero, right? Here's how you do this in a movie, right? They build this teleporter and they see the footage and it looks like Pandora in the Avatar movies. It's this lush paradise, right? Where humanity can be reborn in this Garden of Eden. But then they actually get there and there's a sinister force there. You don't have it look like a horrible hell planet before they even get there. Because then it's like, oh, it's a horrible hell planet where bad things are going to happen.
But they think it's like the primordial ooze where Q takes Picard and all good things.
Yes. I did write it down. Hang on. We will find... Where is it? Oh my god, there's so much.
The source of life or something?
It's the origins of our species and the answers to questions we don't even know to ask yet. That's very exciting for your action movie.
very excited for your 2015 superhero film based on the Marvel comic superhero team of the same name, Fantastic Four.
Yeah, okay. Shall we talk about our heroes in quotation marks?
Sure. Can we talk about their outfits?
Yeah. I kind of see where they're going with this, right? I don't think conceptually it's a terrible idea. They're kind of like, okay, these suits are built to sort of help them manage their powers. So you see Reed's suit has these sort of springs on the arms that like control it or something, even though that doesn't seem to be how it works at all in the actual movie. He just sort of controls it himself.
They have like cables and brass bits on them, yeah.
They're like
Almost
restraints
like a
or
Faraday cage
something.
on his arms.
Yeah. So I understand design-wise conceptually, but they just look like nothing. Everything in this movie just looks like nothing.
Yeah. I think, like Sue Storm's outfit, it almost looks like it's a black turtleneck.
Yes.
With roll-up sleeves, and it's got holes in the chest piece for some reason, yeah. The only one resembling an actual outfit is Johnny Storm's.
Yeah, but it's sort of just a black onesie. It's nothing very exciting.
It's got, like, slight armoured parts to it, and it's actually got the number 4 on it, even though he's called Subject 2.
Yeah, the weird thing about that, too, is he can't activate his powers on his own. He has the suit thing, and he hits a little button on his arm, and that's what causes him to flame on.
He never says flame on the whole time, you're right.
He does say flame on once in the movie.
I completely missed it.
It's right at the end.
Oh, along with a couple of other things that are said right at the very end.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan has shockingly little charisma in this movie, which is surprising.
Right?
Like, how do you rob Michael B. Jordan of charisma?
Like, I don't know what I first saw Michael B. Jordan in. I really don't. Mm-hmm. But when you think this was 2015, they probably shot it 2014, maybe 2013. And then you get to, like, 2017 when they're shooting Black Panther. Like, it's night and day. Or he's doing the Creed movies. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know what he's going for in this movie.
Nothing. He's going for nothing.
Yeah, that's no one's going for anything. I think Sue Storm and the romance, 30 quotation marks between Sue Storm and Reed Richards is just
there any romance?
The worst thing ever.
Did I miss it?
I think they're supposed to be flirting at that one point.
There's one okay bit where, and it's not even with Reed, and it's where Franklin brings Victor out of his incel chamber.
Yeah,
and
he's watching a silent playthrough of Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
I remember you. I didn't even notice. I didn't. I was.
It's on one of his monitors. It's Jacob Fry's beating up some people on the street. But
good catch,
he's not playing it because he's not holding a controller, so he's just watching a walkthrough on YouTube.
He's looking for how to do a quest. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
He's looking for sync points. So, Franklin brings him out of his room, says, "Clean yourself up," and come. And he comes and he meets Reed, and he asks if Sue will be there, and of course Sue will be there. And Reed goes to shake his hands, and he just goes, "Hello, Sue." I can feel that there's a thing between Victor and Sue, kind of. Even if it might not be reciprocated, like it's not at all subtle. Or it is kind of subtle, I guess. Maybe in the language of the film, though to the audience it's not.
Well, the problem with that, though, is that Sue Storm in this movie is a wooden board.
Oh, yeah. Right?
Like,
but I think there's more going on between Victor and Sue.
She never shows any emotion.
There's more going on with Victor and Sue than there is between Reed and Sue in my viewing of this film.
I mean, the OTP of this movie is Reed and Ben.
I shipped them.
He sends a little cute selfie with the machine. That was the one human part in the movie. I was like, oh, he sent his friend a selfie.
You know what? If this movie was a little bit more traditional, the character drama would have come between Ben and Reed, with Ben feeling muscled out from his input in the project being completely sidelined. You don't need Victor here at all. No,
and when they try and do that drama, it's just pointless.
Yeah, it's because he ran away for some reason.
Yeah, he ran away and he was on the run for a year, and then he just came back and it was like nothing happened. And it was like, why was this in the movie? I don't know.
I was looking at Michael B. Jordan's filmography.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I saw Michael B. Jordan was in the same movie, same year, right? It was Creed in 2015, which is the Rocky spin-off.
Yeah.
The Creed movie might be my favourite Rocky movie, actually. Hot take. I really think the Creed movies are good. I've never seen Creed 3. But Creed 1 and 2 are very enjoyable films. And the fact that Creed 1 came out the same year as this, and he's really good in Creed and really awful in Fantastic Four, says a lot.
Yeah. I think maybe the best one is Miles Teller as Mr. Fantastic. I don't know. He's playing a very soft version of Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, he is.
I at least buy him as like a quiet, shy, nerdy guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like the child Reed Richards at the start of the movie was actually given some quite good direction to maybe like be autistic or something. Mm-hmm. And then the movie kind of just feels like it drops that. Like hyper intelligent.
They have this scene where
he's talking
to Sue, and he's like, "Oh, do you read books and all that?" And I think it's supposed to be a cute, funny moment, but it's just not. It's just awkward and weird. Yeah,
it is awkward and weird. I quite like the bit after the accident where they wake up in the Area 57.
And they're all being experimented on.
Yeah, well, I say they're all being experimented. You say they're all being experimented on. Reed looks like he's been experimented. He's like in some A24 horror movie, like he's playing
with all his limbs stretched out and stuff. Yeah. And
it's great. I'm big fan of that. It's all quite disorientating. Where's my friends being knocked out and stuff? Mm-hmm. Sue's sort of on the bed, phasing in and out of reality. And what kind of bed is Johnny on top of?
Just like a metal plank, I think.
Why is that just not superheating or melting or bending or anything?
Yeah, I don't. How did they even get him here? If he's constantly on fire.
That's a good question, Kyle. They just hit him with constant, like, freeze rays or fire extinguishers.
Because they were in New York City, right? That's where they were building the big thing.
In the Baxter building.
In the Baxter building, or in the basement of the Baxter building. I don't really know. But Area 57 appears to be in the mountains somewhere. So
in the Rockies.
Yeah, which is, like, Nathan, basic geography, there's no mountains that big on this side of the States. They went pretty far to get those mountains, so I assume they're on the opposite coast at least.
I think they're on the west coast. Mm-hmm. You don't think they're in Utah?
Yeah. They had to transport him pretty far.
On fire.
On fire, yes.
Yeah, they did. Yep, you're raising good points, Kyle, but the movie's attitude is don't think about it.
Yeah, well, Nathan, did you like the part before that, though, where they all get drunk and touch some goo? And somehow they made that sound... Even though that sounds like a fun hijinks moment, it's boring.
Yeah, like, they get really wasted, and the government's like, hey, you've made it work because you sent Caesar from Planet of the Apes through. Mm-hmm.
We're going to give it to the government or NASA.
We're going to send through some all-American heroes. There's going to be a government
because, Nathan,
thing.
There's this piece of shit Weasley businessman, you see.
Oh, yes, quite. So
he just cares about money.
Instead of them proving their worth, suiting up and doing a good mission, but they're kids, aren't they? They're 18.
They're somewhere between 18 and 35.
Yeah. So they just decide that they're actually going to get wasted and suit up and still proficiently perform everything to get through the portal.
It's bizarre. None of them are acting that drunk. It's just like, it's like a real show don't tell situation where they're telling us that they're doing this because they're drunk, but they're just acting completely normally.
Yeah. The film wants you to really have a suspension of disbelief.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like they could have decided to do this without being drunk. And it's also weird that Sue doesn't go on this mission with them. She just happens to not be there.
Yeah, you're correct. I hadn't even thought about it.
Yeah, she just also gets powers when the thing explodes because reasons.
Precisely because reasons. I think I preferred the Cosmic Storm in 2004 or 5, whenever the first one was.
Yeah.
This movie also ends up falling into just trying to do a soft remake of the first Fantastic Four movie, doesn't it? With like the promise that Reed Richards will fix it and Doctor Doom guilt. Or Doctor Doom hatred, rather, you know. I
think that's just a basic Fantastic Four story. I don't know if it's specifically a remake of the first movie.
But like it's a bit like the same issue the first Amazing Spider-Man movie had, where it's really just retreading a lot of the same ground that we got 10 years earlier.
Yeah, I mean, doing Doom again was a stupid idea. They should have done someone else.
Exactly, right.
Even though this basically isn't Doom, it's just some guy. But
yeah, I think I do tend to lean on the reshoot stuff, that everything that even mentions Doom, it's all reshoot, you know?
I mean, this character was supposed to be in it, but he was a different guy, right? They changed it to Doom or something.
Yeah, they changed it to Doom, yeah. He was meant to be...
Because they have that really funny line where it says, like, well, Dr. Doom over here, which doesn't make any fucking sense, because that's just his name. It's just his name!
He literally would be called Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's, Doctor... Maybe he should have said Dr. Doom and Gloom,
Yeah, and his motivations are nothing. Like, at the start of the movie, he has this sort of, like, eco-terrorist vibe, where he's an extremist of, like, oh, we're killing the environment and all this stuff, right? There's some sort of attempt at commentary there or something.
Yeah, I never really got it. Like, apparently the teleportation program was his idea, and he started it younger than Reed was.
Uh-huh.
But what age is he? Is he the same age as Reed?
I think the movie wants him to be the same age as Reed, but
he doesn't look like an 18-year-old.
No, he looks like a 20 to 30-year-old man. Yeah.
He looks like a 35-year-old. I think he looks the oldest than anyone else. That beard's doing a lot of work for him.
Yeah. Miles Teller was 28 when this movie came out.
Just insane.
And he's supposed to be playing like a 17-year-old.
It makes no sense.
It's silly.
Imagine him and Tom Holland Spider-Man sharing screen time together. Alright?
Uh-huh, yeah. Like, we're the same age, Peter. I just have to go check my mortgage.
I need to go be in War Dogs with Jonah Hill.
Uh-huh.
Great film, by the way.
I mean, any film looks great next to this one.
It's so true.
But yeah, so they're working on this but Nathan, also the board of directors of the Baxter Institute, they don't want to build this teleporter because they don't see the practical applications of teleportation.
I hope you heard that sigh.
Which, to be fair to them, when it's explained to them, oh no, we can't control where it goes goes to this random death planet. They're like, okay, well, I mean, that's kind of neat, I guess, but it would really be more useful if we could, like, teleport to the shops or something,
Why is the teleportation coordinates linked to there? Is there some sort of dense black hole on that planet that draws all quantum entangled particles there? Like, it's like
no clue.
The laws of physics that means that particles that are of the same constituency as teleported people, they all
is it some sort of quantum link? I just don't know.
Is this a twin planet?
Yeah, I just can't get over I know we talked about it. The idea of building a teleporter with no intention of where it's going is just insane to me.
I think in theory it's possible to build a teleporter, and within the logic of the movie, obviously in theory we have nothing like teleportation, I don't think, but you could build it without having rematerialization coordinates thought out, but you wouldn't use it at that stage.
No. you would figure out where you want to send it
and then put people inside it.
Yes. They want this to be like a space exploration thing, but the way you do that is, we just found this magic teleporter thing, right?
An Iconian gateway.
Yeah, like a Stargate. I assume that's what Stargate is.
And some kind of Star Trek.
Yeah. You don't just have them build this thing that they don't know where it's going to go. That's stupid.
Very stupid.
Anyway, Nathan, I have some number stats for you.
Oh God, please.
It's 45 minutes into this movie before the Fantastic Four get their powers.
In theory, not a bad thing.
Actually, no, I'm wrong. It's 74 minutes into this movie before the Fantastic Four have finally gotten their powers.
This movie's less than 2 hours long.
Yes. And it's an hour and 10 minutes before they all appear in a scene. Oh, sorry, an hour and 20 minutes before all 4 Fantastic Four members are on screen together.
I don't know what they were thinking.
It's crazy! There's never even a scene where Ben and Sue meet each other. Oh no, they meet at the school thing, I guess, but he's just standing there in the background.
Yeah, Ben's sort of looking at her because she's taking pictures.
Uh-huh, okay.
Ben's
never mind that. But it's bonkers. That has to be a record for this kind of movie, right? For amount of time it takes to get everyone in a room together.
Yeah, I mean, you would think when you're making a film like this, having your 4 main cast members having a schedule line up where they can work together on that project is pretty important.
For like the first half of the movie, Ben Grimm isn't in it at all.
He sort of disappears the minute Reed moves to
Doom,
New York.
who's the fourth member of the team at that point, and they're all working on this teleporter together, and then they just call him up on the phone like, "Hey Ben, you want to come?"
Yeah, why didn't they have Victor go through the portal with them late at night? Did he say he didn't want to do it?
No, Victor did. You mean Sue? Sue didn't go with them.
Oh, Sue didn't. I apologise.
I guess she's too much of a goody two-shoes and would tell her dad. I don't know.
It's crazy. I didn't understand why. I understood Reed Richards' desire to want to call in his old buddy who was part of this, but again, in a more maybe traditional film,
he would already be there.
He would already be there, but the film's kind of smart enough to think, because a bit like in the other ones of Michael Chiklis, you're like, why are you at this Victor Von Doom, finance meeting? You're just standing in the background. This film is smart enough to go, oh, you actually don't know anything. You're not getting a scholarship here. Bye. But then, we want him to be there, so we need to bring him back.
Yeah, so you would have Reed go, oh, I will only do this if he's here with me, helping me build it, right?
Exactly.
And then he's still in the movie, and then you can have some drama because the other people don't trust him because he's just this Junktown guy, and they're all these scientists.
Have some class analysis and commentary in your Fantastic Four movie.
Nathan, maybe they should have some things happen in the movie. Just a thought.
Just a thought. That's just a thought. This is worse than a slice of life.
Yeah, because the first 45 minutes of this movie is a bunch of scientists work together pretty well to build a machine, and there's no drama. There's the hints of some drama because, Johnny Storm, he's doing street races and stuff, but then he just goes and he works perfectly fine with everyone else.
Yeah, his dad was like, you're not getting the car back or something?
Yeah, you have to work to get your car back because money, and it turns out that he's an expert mechanic or something, I don't know.
So this film would have you believe.
Yeah. His deal in this movie is that he wants to get away from his overprotective dad or something, I think.
There could be some commentary about how Franklin loved the adopted daughter more than he loved his natural-born son.
There could be, for sure.
Yeah, there could be, yeah. Sorry, I'm constructing the movie that doesn't exist,
Yeah, The relationship between Sue and Johnny is really nothing. The relationship between anyone is nothing, but there's a scene where she's like, oh, it's fun to have you around, Johnny, and I disagree, maybe. It's not. I'm not having fun.
It would have been nice if the film actually attempted to have you believe that they're kind of estranged siblings, as opposed to the real chemistry in this film comes between Reed and Ben. Yeah,
I mean, until it doesn't.
Yeah, until it doesn't. Until he moves to New York.
Because this is the other thing, right? This bothered me. I mean, a lot of things bothered me. But after they get back, they've had this big catastrophe, and they've all gotten their powers, and they're in this Area 57, all having their powers analysed by the government.
Yeah.
And then the slimy businessman comes in and he says, "These kids are powerful. We should use them for military." I'm like, that's a big leap to make, my dude. You're jumping immediately to the military applications?
I think that's a fairly standard film trope, though, isn't it?
It's a standard film trope, but in the movie, that's not been established at all. It's just...
This teleporter was never done for military application.
They're showing all these people with, and they're leaning into the body horror of it, Sue is phasing in and out of reality, and thingy's all stretched out. And, they can't even control their powers yet, and he's immediately like, but we could send them to war, though. Maybe figure out if they're not, stuck like this forever first. I don't know.
They don't care about their human rights, because they're the government, Kyle.
Yeah, the government is bad.
The government bad, okay? Yeah, that's it. Who are they fighting, Kyle? Who are they fighting?
This is such a great question. They're fighting with a severe enough thing that they're willing to send Ben Grimm the Thing into combat. It must be a pretty severe foe, right? They're not sending him to fight, terrorist cells, are they?
He's ripping the turret off of tanks.
Yeah, he's running through the woods, ripping turrets off. It seems like America is at war in this movie.
I wonder, in 2015, is he in Crimea or something? Is he fighting, Russian separatists in the south of Ukraine?
I mean, it's possible.
Is he in Afghanistan, Kyle?
I mean, it didn't look like Afghanistan.
The bit where he rips the head off that tank, it looked like a rock quarry or a sand quarry.
Oh, I thought it looked like a forest.
No, when he's in
Am I
the forest, he's like
conflating
chasing
things?
Reed. There's multiple
Right,
missions,
okay.
Kyle. Multiple missions he goes on.
The movie skips over this, but the Thing spends a year fighting for the military.
There's a lot of time jumps in this movie. We go 7 years to when we upscale the actors to be their adult versions, or 18-year-old versions. And then after the mission, we jump a further year.
And Reed decides to run away and escape, and, lives on the run for a year. He can mesh his face into a different face.
Yeah, see, I know that's a feature that he can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
The film doesn't do much with it. See, when he, initially escapes, I think maybe it would have been fun to see him, Mission Impossible it, to, infiltrate places to get necessary access codes, to shapeshift. But no, he does a Ben Grimm in the 2005 movie and bursts out through the wall.
Yeah, well, he climbs through the fence, I guess.
Yeah, but he's going out the side, He's breaking out.
Yeah, but Nathan, isn't it very important that we have this big drama where Ben Grimm thinks he was running away, but really he was trying to help? Obviously he was trying to help. He just doesn't trust this creepy government facility you're being stuck in. He
has a teleport. He has a laptop that says airspace breached, because he knew that the government wouldn't come via truck. They would fly in.
They would fly in.
They would fly in, yeah, and he must have...
Because he's a freaking idiot who said his username is Captain Nemo, the one book he's read.
And he must have, radar facilities set up in this shed he's living in.
He seems to be in Mexico, I think.
Is he? I didn't get that at all.
Well, he was talking to, the guy in Spanish, right? When he was buying stuff.
Completely missed it. I must have been checking my taxes.
I mean, Nathan, the movie it was kind of filtered yellow, so I just assumed it was Mexico because that's what Mexico means in movies.
That would make sense to me. Reed escaped the facility, and I didn't see him again until the airspace breach thing happened.
No, I think somehow he's gotten down to Mexico. The movie just sort of hand waves a lot of stuff by, he's a super genius. He can do that.
Yeah, he can do anything. He has life smarts to talk his way through security because he's a superhero and he's super smart.
Yeah. He's super smart. Yeah. It's
Even
not like we've established that he has terrible social skills.
Yeah, he has zero res. He doesn't have the sauce for this, Kyle.
But Nathan, isn't it cool that he's a badass on the run with a little bit of stubble growing in,
No, it's not actually. Where is his mum and his stepdad?
I don't know. He has that scene with Sue earlier where he says he wishes he was adopted, so I guess he doesn't like his family.
Yeah, but surely they still felt some responsibility over their 17-year-old son.
You would think so, but no.
But no.
Do you remember when Ben Grimm is at his house and his brother/dad, I don't know which, comes up and says it's clobbering time?
Yeah, it was his older brother because the mum comes out and slaps the shit out of him. Yeah, that's my first note. It's clobbering time? Question mark?
Yeah, isn't that a really nice origin for your catchphrase? It's the thing your brother used to say before he beat you.
Though does Ben Grimm ever actually say it? Because when
he does.
Because when he goes to face down Doctor Doom, he sort of looks at Reed before he goes off to fight and goes, "It's what I'm good at. It's what I do," or something like that.
Yeah, no, I believe he says it when he goes to capture Reed. He says it there.
Right, I'm just missing all of this. I remember when we captured Reed because I know he headbutts him and I thought this should have killed Reed Richards.
Or it should have done nothing to Reed Richards because he's made of rubber.
Or he's made of rubber,
he just absorbed the impact.
His face should have just absorbed it, yeah.
Yeah.
But well noted.
This movie has nothing creative to do with his powers. It's just he does big stretchy punch.
And sort of big steps because he can traverse. Yeah, does big steps because he lifts his leg and uses his powers.
Do you remember when Ben Grimm and Reed had a fight in the other movie and he was all wrapped around to tie him up and stuff? At least they were having fun.
Yes, that's very true. They were doing wacky things with the power. That other movie had the sauce, Kyle, to maybe acknowledge that the story wasn't that strong, but its characters and the script could be quite good,
No one does anything fun with their powers in this entire movie.
No, you would think they would wait to get hammered until after they've got their powers to drink their sorrows away. And
yeah, and then you have a silly power montage. Yeah.
Yeah, like in X-Men First Class.
Yeah.
Another one of their own films.
But yeah, this movie wants the powers to be a burden, And that's what you always want in a superhero movie. You want your heroes to be burdened with their powers and really upset and depressed about it.
Yeah, I could understand this as a take, right? I'm not inherently against the take. It's just a bad, boring execution of the take.
But they all come together at the end and they say, actually, no, we were destined for this. So, that's an arc, isn't it?
You were destined to fight the 5th person in your group that has been horrifically overcome with mutant powers.
Who's basically not the same person anymore.
Who
He's just a weirdo.
Who survived a year in Planet Zero, and he found a cape somewhere. And
he found a cape, yeah. They mentioned something about his environmental suit has melded with his skin or something.
Yeah, bit like what happened to Doom in the last one. Like the shield, his powers were becoming the environmental shielding.
Yeah, except worse.
Except much worse, so much worse. There's no Latverian humanitarian mask in this film.
No, there's just a weird metal mannequin face.
A weird glowing green mannequin. Yeah. With
it's
little
such a terrible design. It's so bad.
Awful. Is he just walking around naked like the Thing?
Well, yeah. He's like, his clothes are kind of melded to him, I guess, but yeah. But he has that cloak. He
has that cloak, that back cloak and little scarf and hood, yeah, that's what he got. And his powers are nondescript vomit ray weapons.
Yeah, but now he's become like the ultimate defender of this planet now. It's like, this is my planet, I will not allow the humans to destroy it.
I will destroy your planet to keep my own planet safe. And he gets there and he's telekinetic powers now, Kyle. He assembled a large tri-tower with a circle of rock at the top to shoot a skybeam up. That skybeam connects to Earth somehow, and Area 57 gets swallowed up. How?
The power of the skybeam cannot be underestimated.
Yeah, but how is the skybeam constructed, Kyle?
Magic, Nathan.
I know Dr. Doom can perform magic in the
comics. Wizard did it.
A wizard did it. Yeah, Lucy Lawless says it best, yeah.
He is basically a wizard at that point.
Says who? Wait, did he find a book on Planet Zero that taught him all this?
I think it's implied that the planet is kind of sentient and talking to him or something. I think. Like, he can feel what it wants in some variety or something. I don't fucking know.
The planet is Galactus.
The planet is Ego. I don't know.
Ego, the living planet. Yeah, there's so much. To think this movie, if successful, at some point may have ended up crossing over with the Fantastic Four. The X-Men. Because that's what all this is for. We're trying to build out our IPs, and we're trying to compete with the MCU. And I've been reading up on it, and apparently Mark Millar had said that this would cross over with the X-Men, but then some producers at Fox said no, it wouldn't. If this movie had been successful, it absolutely would have. Absolutely. It was interesting watching Deadpool and Wolverine. They have the little Fox-verse montage at the end.
Yep.
And you get one or two clips of the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck, because he isn't in the movie. But, Elektra's there, so you got to do some bits with him. And then I think you get one shot of the Thing from this movie and one shot of Michael B. Jordan, and that's it.
Yeah, they really blaze past this one.
Yeah, they really fire through it, if you'll pardon the pun.
If there was any movie that was going to reference this movie, it would have been Deadpool and Wolverine, but they didn't even touch it.
Yeah, in the goodbye montage, you get a little bit of B-roll, and that's it. That movie knew the better Johnny Storm to bring back was just Captain America.
Yeah. Because, of course, they could have done a double joke with Michael B. Jordan as well, but,
Absolutely.
Chris Evans, though. Spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine, by the way.
Spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine, yeah, absolutely. Sorry. We are going to talk about that movie when we get there.
But, okay, yeah, Doom, he's rampaging through the facility. He has a hallway scene before Rogue One, so there you go. They got to the hallway scene first.
Yeah, or did Daredevil do it first, though?
Oh, Daredevil did it first, never mind.
Yeah, you go, no credit.
But he gets to Franklin Storm, and Franklin Storm's like, no, you should stay with us, and you should, your family's here. I don't know what his argument, what does he think? How do you think this is going to go?
Oh, he's trying to do a Star Trek speech. He's trying to, this is your home, that's not your home, come back to us, regain your humanity, we'll help you. And Doctor Doom, apparently, allegedly.
Well, there is no Victor. There's just Doom.
Yeah, I clapped. I stood up. Kyle. I was hooting and I was a hollering.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he just, what does he do to Franklin? He just murders him?
He kind of zaps him and burns him all over.
Yeah. He doesn't
So
when I was young, I really did think Doctor Doom's only powers was just the power of electricity.
I mean, that's what his power in the first... Usually he doesn't have powers, he's just a technology guy.
Yeah, I thought he was like a technology mogul Tony Stark mixed with magic.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But because of the first Fox version, I thought he was Mr. Electric, essentially. Mm-hmm. And to watch this and to see that, no, he's just got vague radiation powers.
Yeah.
Electricity's far more visually interesting.
But Nathan, weren't you so upset when Franklin Storm died? You're like, oh, he was great. He was such a good guy, you know?
Yeah, well, so when this movie had come out, I knew this guy as being the restaurant owner from House of Cards. Mm-hmm. This is who I knew this actor as. I was like, hey, it's you from House of Cards. I loved you in House of Cards. Uh-huh. You made Frank Underwood some good barbecue wings. You're a really nice guy. This is like a step up. You're in the big leagues. You're in the Fantastic Four. And that's the only fondness I have for that character, because he's someone I like from a Netflix TV show. The actual in movie resonance, nah, I got none.
He's kind of a nice man, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then, okay, they set up the Skybeam, and now I guess the Skybeam opens some sort of big portal because they can just fly through it.
Yes, yep. Apparently, yeah, there's no longer need for teleportation because we've linked the pod and the teleporter unit together to create a Skybeam that is just itself some dense black hole that transports stuff. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I do like Sue Storm's power usage in this movie, where like she can grab people to be around her with her force fields. Sure, and she can kind of fly with her force fields. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, it's more than bless her Jessica Alba was allowed to do. How can they breathe on Planet Zero when they needed envirosuits before? Because now they're weird freaks with powers, Kyle. Right, okay. Their lungs have also been mutated, but the film doesn't think to linger on it. Or, because it's now a black hole, Kyle, that's sucking everything through from Earth, it's sucking through atmosphere. You see? Right, I see. Okay, I know, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, you see, Kyle, I see. But this is the only action scene in the movie, basically. I mean, there's like a minor fight between Reed and literally the thing. But and it's so short. Yeah, this is like the only major action scene in the entire movie. I was saying this is so short. Yeah, but it's bad. They all attack him independently. They don't do anything. And they're like, but what if we tried attacking him all at once? And they're like, wow, we didn't think to do that. Yeah, one of them's, I can't remember who says it. One of them's like, he's stronger than every one of us. Yeah, but not together. You know? Yeah, that's Reed. He's not stronger than all of us. Yeah, he's not stronger than all of us. He's just stronger than one of us. And this would be like a really impactful moment if these characters had, met before. Yeah. If they'd been struggling to work as a team for the whole movie and then they came together, like in the Avengers, Nathan, Yeah. Remember the Avengers? I remember the Avengers. I like the Avengers. I would see another one. They have the scene where they go to stop Loki, but they're not working very well together. But then by the end of the movie, they're all working together. Oh no, they can't. They capture him when they're all being disjointed because they're really, really good at it. They're actually competent superheroes. In Germany, when Captain America lands down, and then he's got the shield, and Iron Man shows up, and AC/DC's playing. Yes. He's hijacked the audio. But then Loki plays them all against each other on the helicarrier. Yeah, right. Okay, right, so your team are proficient individually, but when you bring them together, they're all big personalities. So now they need to readjust and be humbled and actually get on each other's levels. Right. This is just, they're not proficient. They're not independent heroes. They don't deserve their super suits. They're nothing without their super suits, Kyle. They shouldn't have it. Yeah, exactly, right? They shouldn't get a franchise. But Johnny Storm wants to go to war. He wants to fight the Russians or whoever we're fighting. There's some commentary here about, the US just using its assets, and he's like, they're not using me, I'm doing it with them, Dad. Well, you know, there's some good drama introduced, and then they do nothing with it.
Yeah, we blow up Weasley, little government man. He's not even government man. He's Baxter Building Man, who just sort of takes the place of government man.
He's the mailman. He's Stan Lee stand-in. 5 weeks and no leave.
5 weeks. You know what? I'm not upset he wasn't in this one. Good for him. He knew better.
He knew better. What was he doing in 2015? He was doing Age of Ultron and
Age of Ultron. He's at the party in Age of Ultron and Ant-Man. He's one of he's in the montage of people telling people a thing and the thing.
And pardon me? Oh yeah, and Ant-Man.
Yeah, Michael Pena. He's given and then this person said to this person,
yes.
"Wow, that's super sick, dude," and all that.
Yeah. So he's having a fun time in the MCU, and he's not touching this shit with a barge pole. Though, I mean, he ain't touching quality with a barge pole either, it would seem, because he wasn't Days of Future Past either. But yeah.
I miss him so.
I miss him so much.
But Nathan, they throw Doom into the skybeam and then he blows up.
I was really upset.
It's just like, end story. Doom has not really like he's clearly being controlled by something, or like he's gone crazy. So the resolution to that is you bring him back. You know, that's the satisfying ending.
Is within the language of the film it clear that he's being controlled by something? I just thought he's just now evil after a year there.
Well, that's because they let he's not doing this out of, it doesn't feel like he's doing this out of a rational choice. He's clearly not in his right mind right now, you know? Yes. Someone needs to sit him down and be like, "It's okay, Victor," and then give him a hug, right?
Oh, yeah, well, that's what Franklin tried to do, you know?
Yeah, I realise that, but the fact that they just throw him into a beam with not a care in the world is just very funny to me.
Yeah, well, listen, he's beyond saving in the language of the film. If he was being controlled directly by maybe something introduced into the film, which doesn't
maybe
happen.
Some sort of big spaceman who eats planets, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a thought, Kyle. Gee, God, you should have done this. Then maybe we could have some sympathy for him. But as it lies, I'm like, okay, bye. Now, you would think that when he dies, the portal would shut down and everyone would be stranded. Mm-hmm. But they're not. They make it home.
No. They fly back up and get back home just in time, yeah.
Just in time.
Because, yeah, they say, the portal is still active. That means Doom is still alive because he's the one doing it. So you'd think as soon as he evaporates, the portal would evaporate with him.
Yeah, apparently not. There's some power downtime, Kel.
No. But they get back and there's a crater the size of, like, a planet just taken out of America. And they're like, "We did it!"
Yeah, it reminded me of the crater from Alien vs. Predator Requiem. Because they nuke a small town in that movie.
Right. And it just leaves a massive crater.
Yeah, it leaves a massive crater and everyone just stands on the edge of the crater looking over it with some wrecked cars next to them.
You know, I love, and this has been pointed out before, the poster for this movie has a wrecked city behind them.
Yeah.
Where's that? That didn't happen in the movie.
That didn't happen. I'm looking at the poster right now, Kyle. The tag, you know what the tagline for this movie is?
Oh, no, what is it?
Change is coming.
Wow. What? Bold new direction.
What a bold thing to do, right? Entirely. From the studio,
about to change all that.
From the studio that brought you X-Men Days of Future Past. Yeah.
I did remember that one, yeah.
Crazy. There's the city in the background. Or is this Area 57, Kyle?
No, Area 57 just looks like an Air Force base.
Yeah, but if you're standing on the ground of an Air Force base with some big buildings around you and maybe an air traffic control tower, it could look.
It clearly looks like it's supposed to be like a destroyed New York City.
I mean, in your head, I see one tower. Perspective can be a bitch, you know. We don't know how big it really is. And I see one building to the left of the frame behind the thing's right shoulder, and it looks like a 4-story apartment block, you know.
Okay, even if it is Area 57, we don't see Area 57 get destroyed that way in the movie.
Yeah, it's true. We don't. You're right. You're entirely correct.
It just gets sucked in to a big portal.
Yeah, I mean, what a lot of shit.
Well, Nathan, then they go to the government and they say, give us a big space facility.
No, the government are like, of course no one can know that you've saved everyone, but we know you've saved everyone.
Yeah, why do we know? I don't know. We do, though. Because we're the government.
It's because they showed up on location with their drones and they saw all happening via satellite.
Right, okay.
I have a question, by the way.
Did they see the other side of the portal?
Well, yeah, so this is my question, but the TV and radio transmissions from the teleporter module when it's on planet Zero, how can it send footage back during its teleportation to the other planet? Does it leave like a wedge open in the wormhole that allows the teleportation to happen, a bit like the subspace relay inside the wormhole in Star Trek Deep Space Nine? Is that what's happening that allows subspace transmission, or is it sending its signal the long way around the galaxy to get back? What's happening?
Or through another dimension, because they say it's another dimension.
Oh yeah, you're correct. Yeah, so it must be some sort of subspace wedge that the film doesn't explain. But yes, the government's like, we would like to continue our relationship of you being our government assets. And they're like, no, I don't think I will. Why don't you give us a place, fund us, so we'll be government funded, we'll do all our research, but what we get to keep is ours, and almost like the fact that we're superpowered is just going to be something that you just kind of don't think about. We're just
and the government completely caved to this terms because Ben Grimm threatens them.
Because Ben Grimm looked at them menacingly and the camera focused on him. Yeah. Because you could just say, no, actually, we don't.
You know what's realistically happening in that scenario, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
The people in that room, they agree, oh yeah, sure, yeah, we'll send you to this isolated facility in the middle of the mountains. And then they're like, Mr. President, launch the fucking nukes right now. We gotta deal with this problem.
Launch some carrier missiles there right now. Yeah, exactly. What is this facility? Because I feel like the film thinks that we know what it is.
There's some line where like, oh, we call this place Central City, and I guess that means something to comic fans, I guess.
Because like there's a guy waiting for them, and he's like, listen, we've been doing our research here for years, and we're kind of out the road, ha ha ha, and it's like a place that we know. Yeah,
it's crazy. You would think they would end the movie by like, we own the Baxter Building now, right?
Oh, but the Baxter Building's just nothing. It's just a mediocre
just an office block. Yeah. There's a really funny shot where they have this loving shot and the music swells and it's just a boring office building.
Boring that says Baxter on it. Yeah. It looks like, if you've ever seen the US Office, when John Krasinski moves out of Dunder Mifflin's Scranton office, that's the show's premise, he moves to like a Boston office for them, and it's just some boring, mediocre, not even skyscraper tower block of offices. That's what this looks like. This looks like
you remember the Baxter Building in the other movies? It's like this big weird tower with this strange stuff going on in the roof, you know? At least it's something.
You could not have a rooftop wedding on this Baxter Building.
Oh, for 100% not, no.
100% not. Absolutely.
But yeah, and then they're looking over at their big CGI labs.
Yeah, Kyle, it's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Not
Human
Torch.
Thing that nobody wanted.
Not Human Torch and the Torchettes, Kyle.
No.
Say that again, Kyle. Say that again. It's fantastic.
Nathan, what is this? Some sort of Enter the X-Verse?
Well, quite, right? Because he's like, I got the name. He done a Captain America Avengers Assemble bit from Age of Ultron.
Except when they did it, it was cute.
It was cute, yeah. And like we know the team is called the Avengers it's quite well established in those movies that they were the Avengers. And it's a post-credit scene. Not the last click of this movie, of this franchise, because there ain't no post-credit scene.
Nope.
That was it. That's Fant4stic.
That was Fant4stic. Yeah.
We're determined to make this episode not longer than other ones.
No, I mean, I have nothing left to say. This movie's terrible.
Yeah, I'm happy to be done with it.
We've drained it for all it's worth.
Yeah, we've squeezed this towel dry.
Well, Nathan, would you like to know that you are actually wrong about what we're doing next?
Oh, am I? Okay.
You are. At least, unless I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that next week we're going to be doing 2016's Deadpool.
Oh, are we?
Yeah. I'm panicking now. Need to double check that I got my release order right. But yes.
I thought that we had an Apocalypse movie before Deadpool. Oh, am I just wrong?
Deadpool is July 2016. X-Men Apocalypse is May 2016, so I am wrong.
You are wrong. There we go. There we go, lads.
Never mind.
I was right without having to do any research at all. I was sure that the first cast had another outing before Deadpool.
Okay, my apologies. Next week we're doing X-Men Apocalypse.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Kyle, for that. Kyle, where can the good people find you online?
People can find me at Kyle the Scot on YouTube, where I do video essays and game critiques. We're back on the Assassin's Creed grind now, so there we go.
Yeah, I love those Assassin's Creed videos.
And Nathan, where can people find you?
As always, people can find me online at Nathan Tinney on all good social media outlets. I'm on Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, Mastodon. Where you want me to be, that's where I'll be. You can also find me in Kyle's comment sections from time to time. You can also check out the Enter the X-Verse back catalogue. We've done all these X-Men movies in chronological order, or release order rather. We've done Enter the Snyderverse, where we've gone through a back catalogue of the entire DCEU. And of course, Name Not Included's back catalogue, or prior podcast name. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Kyle, thank you so much for being here and letting us ramble at each other. And everyone can...
It's cathartic, isn't it?
It is so cathartic when it comes to stuff like this. And you guys can listen to us next week for X-Men Apocalypse.